While we can't stop wildfires or floods, we can get ahead of them with money moves that turn panic into peace of mind, because nothing takes the stress out of emergencies like knowing you've got a financial plan for when things happen. School's First Federal Credit Union is here with small steps you can take today to prevent big money stress tomorrow. Here to help us with our financial emergency kit is Travis Mera, Roseville Branch Manager for School's First Federal Credit Union. Hey, Travis.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so Travis, natural disasters, they're part of our reality, especially here in California.
Yeah.
So what are the types of things we should plan for financially?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it shouldn't be something we have to plan for, but in all reality, should a wildfire, a flood, or an earthquake kind of force us out of our homes or either interrupt our income even on a temporary basis, we're going to need quick access to cash for kind of essentials. That's your food, your gas, hotel stays, or even just replacing your items. So the first and most important step is having that emergency fund, kind of that financial safety net, if you will. And, you know, we recommend having about 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. And I know that can seem overwhelming, but, you know, just start small. You know, $20 a week can really grow over time. And, you know, setting up an automatic transfer to a dedicated savings can really help grow consistently over that. One thing that members sometimes overlook is put some of that aside in like a high yield savings to really help that growth improve on its own. And, you know, the last thing with that is, you know, we want to make sure that it is liquid. You know, should something happen, you know, we don't have time to call in those transfers or wait for those items to clear.
It sounds like really planning ahead. And I like how you broke it down, like, okay, 3 to 6 months worth of savings sounds like a lot, but if you start small, it grows over time.
Steps.
Yes, baby steps. We like that. And in that mad dash, I mean, to evacuate when natural disasters do happen, what are the most important documents people should grab, and what's the best way to keep them safe yet accessible?
Yeah, and that's a big thing to really touch on. You know, should disaster happen, you know, you're not going to have a lot of time to get out of your house. And if you are in that kind of environment, do we even know where our critical documents are? So really start gathering those items, such as driver's license, your social security card, you know, medical records, your insurance policies, your bank information, passports, and even your kind of your home deeds and even titles. You know, gather copies of those and put it in a fireproof and waterproof safe. And, you know, really make sure that you are also backing that up now electronically through like a secured kind of cloud. You also are going to want to have a printout of kind of emergency contact numbers for your financial institutions, your insurance agents, and even some family members. We rely on the cell phones and we don't even know what those numbers are. You know, kind of having everything ready should something happen is really going to allow us to feel in control during this chaotic time.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the digital backups, because I do have the hard copies, but I don't have the digital backups. So it just makes sense to do it.
We don't know what we'll have access to.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk insurance. What should folks be reviewing there?
Yeah, and that is another great question, because, you know, the worst thing is realizing I don't have enough insurance after a disaster strikes. And unfortunately, we see it far too often. So, you know, review your home insurance or your renter's policy and see, do you have enough you know, coverage to cover the current value of all of your belongings? And think about the higher items, you know, your electronics, your jewelry, or even, you know, outdoor equipment. Those are kind of the things that sometimes we don't think about. Another thing to consider is most standard insurance policies do not cover earthquakes or floods. So especially in California, we really need to make sure we have that covered. If we don't, reach out to your insurance company and talk about, you know, supplemental policies. Another thing to really help you, should you be involved in a claim, is take photos and videos of your home and all of your possessions. Really walk through each room and really narrate everything that you have, and keep that footage with your kind of important documents, and make sure it's date stamped, just so there's no questions on that. And yeah, those are just a few of the major tips.
Important things for people to remember too, because again, with insurance, you're just thinking about sometimes maybe then and there and right now. These elements aren't happening right now.
Exactly.
You don't want to wait until after something has happened and natural disaster has happened, and now you're considering what you need to add on to your insurance. Any final takeaways, Travis?
Yeah, just, you know, when we think of like financial protection, you know, it's not just protecting your money. It's also really putting you in a position where you can have that peace of mind when uncertainty is arising. None of us have really gone through it. So really being able to have that peace of mind, knowing that you're better prepared for it. The other thing is all these little steps, they may seem small, but they really are going to make a bigger impact should you have a disaster strike tomorrow. And lastly, if you're not sure where to start or how do I begin, reach out to your local credit union. We're always here to help.
All right, Travis, you're helping us prepare and plan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
to
it.
our viewers, protect yourself and your wallet. Well, thank you. You can visit one of the many Schools First Federal Credit Union branch locations as seen on the screen. And you can find out more online by going to schoolsfirstfcu.org.